Okay, today we're going to finish up chapter 2 of biology from 5. We're going to study the contraction of muscles for frogs, insects, and birds. Having said that, frogs and insects have very similar ways of doing their, jumping. Because insect and frog jumping, that's the main question they might ask. If they do ask, honestly, this chapter is not too popular. So, drawn, as usual, I simplified stuff. You can look at them here. This is my impression, my attempt of drawing a frog from memory. In order for him to fly, he, she, whatever, in order for this fella to jump, alright, they would rely on the two muscles on the hind legs. So the two muscles here, we don't call it biceps femoris, we don't call it hamstring, we don't call it quads, alright? We call it flexor and extensor. Flexor and extensor. This one is not in full, but you should know what it is. Now this flex muscle is like our hamstring, whereby when it contracts, then the leg is bent. Alright, so flex, as in when it contracts, you flex. On the other hand, this is the extensor. When it contracts, then it will, when it contracts, then the leg will be straight. So what the frog can do is, before it jumps, before it launches off the ground, they must accumulate this potential energy. Potential energy is the energy that is stored in an object due to its condition or its position. So when it comes to this frog, right, they're going to be on top of a certain surface, and then just before he jumps, he's going to, contract the flexor muscles. Now, the more he contracts, the more the potential energy that is stored. Therefore, when he wants to jump, then the opposite obviously occurs. The flexor will now relax, the extensor is the one contracting, which causes the legs to be straightened, and then the frog jumps. Now the insects are the same. They also use flexor and extensor muscles, so that's quite easy. So it's not much of a problem. Now we're going to study about birds. Okay. So birds, right? This is a bird flying towards you. In order for them to flap their wings, because that's what we're going to study, we have to know the name of the muscles here. One is the pectoralis minor and the pectoralis major. Your pectoralis minor, we have it also. It's located within this upper area here, but it is hidden behind the pectoralis major. Alright, so for the birds, the pectoralis major is also, it looks larger, that's why they call it major. The pectoralis minor is the one that is connected to the upper side of the humerus. So their, this part of their arm here is also called the humerus, just like ours, whereby the pectoralis minor is connected to the upper side of the humerus, while the pectoralis major, the tendon here is connected to the bottom side of the humerus. So if the bird wants to fly, he has to flap the wings. To flap the wings, both of these muscles, obviously, they will work antagonistically to each other. So let's say this bird wants to raise its wings. If you want to raise if the bird wants to raise its wings, then the pectoralis minor will have to contract. So when he contracts, he produces a pulling force that is transmitted towards the humerus via the tendon. Now this one goes up. Obviously, the pectoralis major will relax. Now once the wings are up, now you have to flap down. Then the pectoralis major will contract. This one relaxes. So pectoralis major contracts, produces pulling force, pulls the humerus down, and then flaps the wing up completely, up, down, and then they have to continuously do this in order to fly. So birds, birds have hollow bones. All right, their bones are not compact. Right, they have an empty space within them. This is to reduce their density so that they can float more easily. Another important thing is their bone is what else can I say? The bones are slightly curved. It's not completely straight, so it's a slight curved shape which increases their strength. Okay, and they also have feathers which are waterproof, so they will not be slowed down during the rain. Okay, so it will not cause them to be wet, and accumulate extra mass. And they have feathers that point towards the back of their body. So just like a fish now, which I didn't mention, the fish have scales that point towards the back of their body so they can decrease water resistance. Birds can also fly effectively because the feather is pointing to the back. So that would be it. In case they ask you about birds, like what are their characteristics, what are their what do you call it, what are their adaptations. All right. So we still got a couple more minutes to go. Let's talk about the end here. Okay. This one is not. It's nothing to do with our lesson right now. There's health problems associated with our muscle and skeletal system. You got osteoarthritis, gout, as well as muscular dystrophy. So these are all examples of diseases that we could, suffer from, all right, because of problems related to our, muscles or our skeletal structure. Okay, so osteoarthritis is the first one. Osteoarthritis is basically wear and tear damage towards the cartilage. So the ends of your bones, they are not supposed to, they are not supposed to rub against each other. You're supposed to have like the synovial fluid, all right, and as well as the cartilage. But for older people, or maybe it is a genetic kind of condition, the cartilage wears off, and therefore, every time you move, there's rubbing of bones. It causes excruciating pain, and therefore, old people who suffer from this, they can barely walk and move. Then you have a gout. Gout is it's also a somewhat hereditary disease. Some people get it, some people don't. But generally, it is caused by the consumption of seafood and certain other kind of food that can cause accumulation of uric acid. They accumulate in your joints and also cause pain when moving. So there you go. Then muscular dystrophy is a disease where your muscles eventually degenerate. Alright. So if your muscles degenerate, even if your bones are alright, your nerves are alright, right? If your muscles degenerate, you cannot move, for example, your arms, your legs, and all that, which means you are quite close to being paralyzed. So that's quite sad, but that's humans. So many diseases. You have to take care of yourself. These are all like, diseases that you get if you don't take care of yourself. So practice proper, diet, practice proper exercises, have a good posture. Those are examples of things that you can do to maintain good health. And to avoid yourself from getting into, infected with this virus, make sure you wash your hands. Right? So, see you guys.